Good morning everyone, and welcome to this assembly on Ramadan. Now, every single year, Muslims around the world, they celebrate a very holy month and a very blessed month, and that is called Ramadan. Now, before I get to that, I just want to give you a bit of a background in terms of Muslims and Islam and what that means to you. Okay, so Islam, is one of the biggest religions inside the world. Okay, and it comes from the word salama. Salama is the Arabic word. The religion of Islam originated from Arabia. So at this moment now, what is Saudi Arabia? That's where the Prophet Muhammad came, and that's where he spread, his message. And it was a culmination of the previous religions, which were Christianity, Judaism, and then eventually Islam. So it's a final message which came down with the final prophet, and this is the understanding that Muslims have. Now, the word Islam comes from Salama, like I said, is wholeness, submission, peace, sincerity, safeness, and the main meaning which is taken is a total surrender to the will of God. Muslims around the world, quite a large number. So there's approximately 2 billion Muslims around the world, and there's certain countries where Islam is the predominant religion. So if you look at the green on this map, this is mainly the sort of Middle East, and it does sort of move over to some parts of the Far East as well. So countries like Indonesia, does have hundreds and thousands of Muslims. So this blessed month, which will be starting tonight, so it is one of the 5 pillars of Islam. Now, I'm going to be speaking in a bit of Arabic as well, because that's how it originally came down, on the Prophet's mouth, and the religious book of Islam also came down inside the Arabic language. So I will be speaking, and it sounds, special when you say it inside the Arabic language. So this particular notion of Ramadan being part of the 5 pillars is Bunya al-Islamu ala khamsin. So the foundation of Islam is built on 5 pillars, of which one of them is as-sawmu min Ramadan, the fasting inside the month of Ramadan, and it's the 9th month of the lunar year, and it marks the time when the Muslims really focus, within themselves, and the Quran explicitly states this in one of its verses, where it says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu kutiba alaykumus siyam kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum. All the people that believe, prescribed for you is what? Is fasting. And why is fasting prescribed? Because it's prescribed to the people before, and also it's for you to gain God consciousness. Now, it is during this month that Muslims fast, and they are not allowed to eat or drink during daylight hours. Now, I get this question all the time. Oh, sir, you're going to be fasting for 30 days. How do you handle it? No, that's not the case. So it's just before sunrise. So at this moment in time, it'll be approximately about 5 a.m. and you'll be breaking your fast, with at sunset time, just after sunset, which will be about 6 o'clock inside the evening. Now, what usually happens is we have a very early breakfast, obviously, inside the morning, and then towards the end of the day, when the fasting breaks, we will be breaking the fast. Now, it's usually a nice family get-together, community get-together when the fasting takes place, when the breaking of the fast takes place. Now, a lot of people think, because you're starving all day, you're going to have a huge meal, and you're going to eat non-stop. But no, that's not the case, actually. What happens is when you get to the evening, you only eat, a little bit, because you have to get ready for another prayer, which usually takes about 2 hours. Now, this particular fasting, just to clarify, there's no eating, no drinking, no chewing, nothing. So it's a pretty hardcore fast, but like I said, this is done to bring God consciousness, bring you close to God, make you feel healthy, overall, because you're giving your digestive system a bit of a rest. People who are sick, who have diabetes, etc., they do not need to fast. But it is encouraged beyond those categories of people. Obviously, ladies that are pregnant, they don't fast. People should fast. And like I said before, feeling hungry and thirsty helps Muslims to understand what is it like for people in the world who do not have enough food or drink. And also another really good act which usually takes place in Ramadan is charity is also donated. So 2.5% of your savings, is calculated. That includes your shares, any assets that you have, and from that 2.5% goes to the people that are totally needy, and this is called zakat, which is also a pillar in Islam. The material things of this world. This is a chance for you to sort of detach yourself a bit away from that, and get yourself connected to the higher purpose, to God, and this is why Muslims pray a lot. They read a lot of Quran, which is a holy book, and they make a special effort during this month, to reflect, on where their life is leading, and their purpose of life and the priorities of life and the life hereafter, etc. So all of these things take place during this month. When Ramadan ends, so depending on the sighting of the new moon for the next month, that will be the indication as to when Ramadan finishes. So that celebration is called Eid al-Fitr, which is the feast of fast breaking. It is a time when friends and family gather together, they pray together, they have one meal after another because they go from one family house to another, and gifts are exchanged. So very similar to Christmas, really. In terms of expensive gifts are brought. Nowadays, my children will come up to me, PS5 or a device or phones, etc. So all of these very expensive gifts are sort of exchanged, given, etc. Also, just before this particular celebration, there is also a small amount of charity which is given. So every single person, on average, every household just gives £5. Okay, and that added up goes to the poor, which will struggle to celebrate, and celebrate this festival. So that's the reason why this little charity also takes place, in addition to the other one that I mentioned before. So I hope that's given you a bit of an insight, in terms of what Ramadan is all about, and what this month entails. And I just want to sort of finish off with a little prayer, which is a universal prayer for all religions and people that believe in God. So dear God, thank you for all that you have given to us. May we find time in our busy lives to be grateful for them and to remember those who don't have as much as we do. Amen. And I want you to, I have a task for you, and my task is for you to find out, who in school is fasting. We do have a handful of people, probably between 5 and 10 people, who will be fasting during this month. So it's a real opportunity for you to sort of find out, what is fasting all about, why do you fast, how you're feeling, look out for them. It gives us a bit of an understanding, of other religions, other cultures, develops tolerance within us. Sometimes what can happen is because we are not exposed to other religions and other communities, we're not aware of them, and we can have preconceived ideas about various people, which obviously are barriers and walls that we need to sort of break down. So it's a real opportunity. I hope you have really enjoyed the presentation. I hope you have a fantastic day. If you have any questions, in regards to the blessed month of Ramadan, come and see me, and I can sort of discuss and give you a bit of an insight to it. So have a good day and look after yourself. Thank you.